What's going on, Skye Squad? We are back in the building and we're here to talk about Love and Marriage DC. The first episode is out now, and in case you missed it, it was pretty explosive. So we're going to do a recap of it, but I'm sure for many of you, you're wondering, why is Peter Thomas featured on the thumbnail of this video? Well, I guess the better question is, what was he doing filming for the Real Housewives of Potomac and for Love and Marriage DC, which he clearly did first. So this is going to be an interesting spring, summer joggers for Peter Thomas, because these restaurants, I am sure, are going to be getting that good promo, and I am all the way here for it. Black man, get your business on, okay? But yes, Peter Thomas is featured in the end trailer promo for the rest of the season of Love and Marriage DC. So you guys are in for a treat for you Peter Thomas fans. Peter Pumpkin Eater is featured, baby. And we're going to get into all the nooks and crannies of the episode, so don't worry about it. If you haven't seen it yet, great, because this will be a primer for you before you watch the episode. I'm going to tell you basically everything that's going on. But I want to also give you guys a little bit of tea from the premiere party before we get into it. Now, I did attend the premiere party for it, and it was amazing. They had the red carpet. On rolled out the works for this party. And shout out to OWN for having me co-host, I should say, the Q&A with radio personality Angie Ange, who is legendary here in the DC area. And when I tell you something, if you have not met this cast yet, this cast is wild, okay? The dynamics and the chemistry, the shade of it all. And it's interesting because it's fun shade between multiple different people, okay? It is insane. And I told him, listen, I said, listen, don't curse me out, okay? When I gotta talk about y'all, because that's just what we gotta do, right? We gotta talk about the situations. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to have some conversations about some of our favorites. And that's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But they know, so I hope you're ready for it, okay? Now, with that being said, we wanna go ahead and rate the episode, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10. And for this premiere episode, I am going to rate it a 9. Let me tell you why I'm going to give it a 9 and not necessarily a 10. Number one, I kind of reserve a 10 for, I never usually like to give a first episode a 10 because I need to see how high it's going to actually go, right? And I always believe that the first episode is not always the best indicator of what the rest of the season is going to be. And sometimes you will often get a first episode that's basically just the tip of the iceberg. So for me, that's kind of how I feel about this show right here. It's the tip of the iceberg. It's the introduction. And I also think that there are some key elements that are missing in the stories that will make you kind of go, wait, I don't understand why this is an issue or where this is coming from. Although I am sure those things will be further explained in the future, I just kind of feel like we need to fill in some gaps, and that's the reason why I took away a point, because I think especially for the larger viewing audience who may not know certain aspects of some of the newer, well, I wouldn't say newer couples, but I would say newer to many people outside of the DMV area, I would say that there are some things that you might feel like are missing in the first episode that you really need in order to grasp the conversations that are being had, okay? I give it a 9 also too because they have shot this breaking the fourth wall all the way down. Like, you literally, the introduction to the show is Monique talking about the contrast between this show that she is on, what she is doing here, and Real Housewives of Potomac, and how she felt like she was put in a box. And she feels like with this show, she's able to actually really showcase who she is as a person, her marriage fully and completely, and her family dynamics fully and completely. And we get a very nice introduction of, you know, DC, what the feeling of the city is, the vibe of the city. I always like those types of montages. And I love how seamlessly her opening sort of monologue meshed in with the intro for the show, it was such a smooth transition that I didn't even realize, oh, I'm looking at the intro, and it felt like it was shot like a music video to a certain degree. So I did like that. And we are literally thrust right into the action. I mean, like, it's a group scene leading the episode, which I absolutely love. So the first group scene is basically Monique having a pop-up event, and all of the ladies are arriving, or at least all of the key ladies, I should say, are arriving. So you have, Ashley Silva arrives, who is married to DJ Quicksilver. You have Arena Tyler, who is married to Jamie Tyler. You also have friend to the show Tasha arriving. You also have Winter Williams arriving, who is going to be the guest speaker for the night, okay? And so to just even jump things off, we get an introduction right off the bat of Winter Williams, who I think also should have been a main cast member based on what we have seen from the trailer and based on what she gave us in this first episode. It's clear to me why she maybe wasn't, because I think they wanted to really focus on the three main couples. But I don't think that, especially as we've seen Love and Marriage Huntsville do, I don't think that there's anything wrong with expanding that to an individual who is also in a different transitional state of their relationship. Because one of the things that she does as soon as she hits the stage is that she is a mom of four. Her first husband played in the NFL with Chris Samuels, and that's how she and Monique have known each other for so long. But then her first spouse had an affair with the nanny. She found out that the man had a child on the way. Then he had another child on the way, and she talks about going through the divorce process. But meanwhile, baby, let me tell you something. Miss Ashley Silva, who if you think that she describes herself as, I think the word is a polite 5-letter word that rhymes with witch, okay? And she can definitely give off that energy, but she's also hilarious, right? Like, and I don't get the sense of, sometimes people will come into a show and they will try to be a Nene type of character, right? And y'all know the types of characters I'm talking about. She's not that. She's something all on her own. Like, that's all I can say about her. And the general sense that I got from watching, because I always look at people's confessionals and I ask myself these questions. Is this person putting on for the camera? And I don't get anyone on this show putting on for the camera in terms of trying to portray some type of persona. Now, what I do get is the notion that is being stressed is that this group of friends reminds me of the group of friends in the Tyler Perry movie series, Why Did I Get Married? Because there is a real heavy emphasis on trying to understand how a married couple like Jamie and Arena can stay married for 26 years, especially by, Ashley and Quick, who have been married for about 13 years, and for Monique and Chris, who are approaching their own 10-year anniversary and the issues that they're dealing with. And so they're all looking to Jamie and Arena to really kind of help them, be the model couple that gives them some type of advice. And honestly, Jamie and Arena are just like, we trying to have a good time. We are not trying to save nobody's marriages right now. We want to celebrate our 26-year anniversary, and we're not trying to have no Ponderosa and no Q&A about how we stayed married this long, because that's what Monique is asking in the first scene. She's like, well, at this 26-year anniversary party, are y'all gonna have like a Q&A for us to kind of, get some information? And Irena is like, girl, no, we want a party. We trying to dance. We are not trying to have a kumbaya moment around the fire pit talking about our marriages. We are not trying to do that. But Monique is trying to get the answers, okay? Monique wants the answers. Monique wants the book. Give Monique the blueprint, because she wants it all, okay? And so what we also noticed with this group of ladies fresh right off the bat is their ability to shade one another very lightly, and it doesn't feel nasty or negative. It feels like this fun level of shade. Like, there's a moment where Ashley talks about being 10 or 12 years old when Irena and Jamie got married, because that's how long they've been married. And then she goes on to tell Monique, you was only 12. And so Irena just rolls with it. She just is like, you know what, Ashley, I see you. And Ashley proceeds to try to tell her, like, this is how you keep your man satisfied. Because Irena's like, well, what should I get my husband, for our anniversary? And Irena's like, you know what, you need to just, while he sleep at night, just throw that thing back on him. And then she proceeds to, trying to, demonstrate on Monique what Irena should be doing. And Irena's like, girl, how do you think I stayed married 26 years? You trying to tell me something that I already know, okay? But anyway, I like the banter amongst the women so far. It looks like it's harmless fun. But I can definitely tell, especially based on what I saw at the premiere party last night, that it is going to soon take a turn for the more interesting. Okay. Side note, Ashley was bored doing the lunch and learn at Monique's event, and because she was just drinking to her heart's content, and she just said, you know what, I told myself that if I get bored, I was gonna start drinking. So I'm already 4 drinks in, and the girl and Winter keeps going on and on about the marriage or whatever that didn't work. We're gonna soon learn, spoiler alert, that there was some scamming involved and some other type of scandal going on with Winter's marriage, which is again why I say she probably should have been a main cast member, because if you're gonna be providing that much content, you need to actually be full-time. Carlos, let's go ahead and bump her up for next season, okay? We get into a reintroduction of Chris and his background with playing football, and he's working out, and Monique is. Here's what I'm going to tell you that I noticed about the two of them on this show. They're doing maybe it's the 10-year marriage bicker, okay? It's the 10-year marriage bicker. We can't quite figure out what they bickering about, but it just seems like a conversation will start off one way, and then it'll turn into the bicker, okay? And we're going to call it the dance of the bicker, okay? Because it seems like a little dance. The dance starts off like a nice little waltz, okay? And then it spirals into some type of hurricane, and I'm just like, wait, how did we get here? Why are y'all arguing? I do not understand it. I really don't. From Chris's perspective, I think he feels like, you know what? I've worked, okay? I got my money in the bank. I ain't got to do what I don't want to do. I do what I please, but I'm a good man. I take care of my family. I am very helpful with the kids. I put it down as a man of the house. And I think for Monique, what she may be looking for is something a little bit deeper, a little bit more of a deeper emotional connection as they've been married for 10 years. Because listen, you got, and Monique, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, let me go, I got to be real with you. Now, you got a lot going on, okay? You got a lot going on. You got the businesses, okay? You got kids, obviously. So that's, I think for any couple that's got kids, I'm sure that takes away from some of their ability to really be able to connect on an emotional level sometimes, because the kids probably take priority. And Monique likes the animals too. So you got the animals over there too. So it's a lot going on. Okay? I mean, it is a lot going on. So I think that, you know, we learned later on that Chris is, you know, seeing a life coach, and the life coach ended up involving Monique in, you know, I guess their workings or whatever. And so Chris he feels like he's trying to make progress in the way that Monique wants him to. But for Monique, she's like, I need you to do the work. Part of that work that she's wanting him to do is basically to create a list of things that he's passionate about. Because I think maybe, and I'm just assuming this, that Chris is at a space in his life where he's fulfilled a lot of his dreams. And so now he's able to kind of sit back and assess, what do I really want to do? Or maybe that's Monique's perception of him. I don't know. But that's what it's giving me on the screen, okay? And so for me, I feel like, you know, I can understand this because I am the type of person, I know exactly what I want to do. And I probably know a little bit too much about what I want to do. And maybe I think Monique may be the same type of person. You know what I'm saying? Given what I know about her, I know that she is. But I think that Chris is like, I've fulfilled so many major accomplishments already. What else do I do? You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's what she's trying to get out of him. And personally, and I have told him this, I said, listen, I think and it's not, this is a situation where it's just like me in my own marketing branding mind, similar to what I was saying about Wendy Williams. I feel like, you know, somebody like Chris Samuels can go into, you know, podcasting with sports, podcasting with or commentating about on sports and different types of things of that nature, because he has the experience, he has the background, and he has the interest. And so I think that would just be an amazing platform for him as he continues to go down his own journey and his own path beyond his career in the NFL. That's just my thoughts, okay? Moving over to Ashley and Quick. What I feel like we're going to be getting from them is DJ Quicksilver is a very popular, successful DJ who does a lot of work and a lot of travel, okay? And what I'm getting from Ashley is, you know, she's got her own podcast, she's got her own online e-commerce business, but she's also trying to finish a book. And for her, it's very difficult to really dedicate the time to finishing the book because Quick is always traveling, running about, working, and doing. The man is putting it down, right? He's putting it down, and his main goal is to provide for his family. So the man is out here working. But for Ashley, she's like, I mean, is there a line for where, you know, you're gonna be? How much work you gonna do? Because she said she feel like a single, a married single mother. I think that was the term she used. So she's like, listen, you're gonna have to find a way to balance, which also lends itself to them wanting advice from Jamie and Arena about how to have a marriage that stands the test of time. Again, Jamie and Arena really are not trying to be getting into that because they just really want to celebrate, okay? And Monique makes an interesting comment, and she says later, she says that, you know, they just seem rather vague whenever they're asked about, you know, how long they've been married and what helped them last that long. And Monique feels like, well, you know, maybe they're so guarded because they have something to guard, and maybe they don't want to be as open with us as of yet because maybe they're just not comfortable sharing those aspects as of yet. And to be quite honest with you, I would understand it. I mean, listen, they are all cool in a social circle, right? But I think that there's something to be said for, and I said it in my interview with Destiny, not everybody wants to dive into the nooks and crannies of their marriages, especially right off the bat. I think it would be hard to say, well, here is the key to a successful marriage. It is steps 1 through 10. No, because every marriage and every relationship is different. And every marriage and every relationship has different agreements. And you don't know whether or not the agreements that they have, whether spoken or unspoken, would actually work for you or not. So really, I mean, I think that the best way to sort of understand how they work as a couple is just to continue to spend more time with them. And I think that that's going to be something that plays out over the course of the show. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about is with the Tylers, what we notice is, and this is one of those aspects, and I'm going to talk about the missing elements from the show so far, is we get this issue that's happening with the family. One of their sons has a vision impairment, but when I tell you, he is hilarious. He spoke last night at the event, and that boy has a personality on him. And I really have to commend them for literally, I love that they're telling this story, and I love that he is not shy. He has all this personality, and the vision impairment does not hinder him from having such a big personality. And when you see the episode, you'll see it. But if you see him in person, you will really see it, right? But then they have another son. They call him Lil Jamie. They got a daughter too, but at least I think it's 3 of them. It could be 4, but I think it's 3. They'll correct me. I know they will. Somebody will correct me. But I just saw the 3 of them last night. But in the episode, what we get is that Lil Jamie, who is, I'm not sure what age he is, but there's something going on between him and the father Jamie. So there's Jamie and then there's Lil Jamie, just to make the distinction. But we don't know what the issue is. We know that they have not spoken in about 5 months. And we later find out that, Lil Jamie has been hanging out with a crowd that, is not so savory, I would assume, based on what he's saying. And that he was smoking, the ganja all day, every day. And that was leading him down a wrong path as well. And, we get this really emotional scene with Irena basically telling him, while they're car shopping, listen, you need to switch it up. You got to start really conducting yourself in a way that a respectable black man should, because in this day and age, we don't know what can happen to you out there in these streets. And so what we need you to do is become more responsible. And the first step in doing so is for you to make contact with your father and show up at this 26th anniversary party, okay? You best to show up. And show up he does. And we do get a conversation with Jamie and Lil Jamie about what their issues are. And Jamie admits that basically, his father was tough on him, so he wants to be tough on his son because he wants his son to go down the right path. And they kind of have it seems as though they are on the right path, but based on the trailer, there's some more drama coming down the line. Okay, some very serious drama coming down the line. So stick around for that. Let me take it back to the other missing element that I don't quite know, but maybe Monique is alluding to with her and Chris. She mentions that she does not want to end up like her parents or Chris's parents. Her parents being divorced, and then Chris's parents being together, but more like friends than a married couple. So she, I think, is fighting to have them, I think create some type of deeper relationship, which I'm not quite clear on, but he feels like he's doing the work. She don't feel like he's doing the work, okay? He apologizes for not doing the work, but she is intent on getting it into his head that you need to consider this work, this heart work, important. And I don't think that he doesn't feel like it's important. I just feel like he's trying to understand and figure things out, and it's taking him a little bit longer than what she would like for it to take. And so it feels like she's very irritated by that. And so I think we're gonna see a lot more of that this season. I need to see the life coaching sessions. Okay, let's play the tapes. Let's play the tapes. Let's see those, because I mean, otherwise, I don't know how they're gonna work through this issue, because I'm not actually clear on what the dance of the bickerization is all about. Okay. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this first episode of Love and Marriage DC. The scams and scandals that are set to come down the pike. You know, what you guys think of the cast so far. Who's your favorite? Who's the standout? Who is going to have the most to answer for at the reunion? I want to know all of your thoughts on this show. Now, with that being said, listen, I got to go and find me some lunch. Y'all know I love y'all, and I will catch you in the next video.